Hello, hello, guys. Again, this is the Metaverse of Gaming, and yours truly, resident of Raccoon, AJ here. I am joined once again by, of course, the lovely co-hosts, Starwin and Zero. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Yo.
Unfortunately, we do not have Bugz with us again this episode, but he is on vacation, so he will be back for the podcast this Saturday.
So he finally got out of that female wrestler who was.
Oh yeah,
down,
that's right. From our waifu episode. So we miss him dearly, and we miss his memes too.
Yes.
So we got another tier list for you guys this week. I chose the tier list this time again, and I chose the MCU because I think the MCU has enough movies in depth and enough of an argument to list these things. So I took the liberty of editing the tier list a little bit. I ordered them in release for us, so they're a little bit easier to rate, so we can rate them by release. And then the last one here says Cinematic Universe. That was already added there. I guess we could just call that WandaVision.
I was about to say, the person was like, okay, just to make sure people understand, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, this is the MCU. Yes, this is not Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. This is not what's the fucking first Hulk?
Oh God,
Eric Bana.
Yeah, there you go. You know, we're not talking about DC movies. Like, this is strictly no Fox X-Men, nothing. Like, this is strictly the MCU.
This is Disney owned, people.
Yes, Kevin Feige produced.
Yes.
So I also took the liberty of removing an F tier because I don't think any of these movies are Fs.
I can find one or two F tiers, so don't worry.
I think every movie is watchable. They may not be the most enjoyable, but they are watchable. I don't think they're a complete dog shit. F tier is for Batman vs Superman and Justice League and potentially Justice League Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
To be mentioned.
So that is where the Fs would belong if we had those here. And then since I took away a tier, I added a tier. I added a double S tier because there are some movies.
I already know what's going up there right now.
Yeah, there are some movies that are double S that I feel like shouldn't be compared to some of the single movies because it's not fair.
Yeah.
Hint, hint at the future of the video. So again, the way this goes is whoever chose the tier list for the week gets to decide where they want to place it on the tier, and then the rest of the co-hosts average it out on the list. So without further ado, let's begin. We have none other than, of course, the start of the MCU.
I have a question though before we start this.
Yes, go ahead.
Are we judging these movies based on how they interact with the MCU or their standalone merits? Because I feel like that's a huge thing to.
So we are judging these movies on everything, on how good it is, the story, its impact on the MCU as a whole, how relevant it is still today, and do we care? So everything. I want us to really look at these movies and think about it as a whole. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Iron Man 1, the beginning of the MCU. I watched this 3 days ago, I think. I'm going to go A tier. Simply because it still holds up. The movie still holds up, despite Terrence Howard being a roadie in this movie.
I'm sorry, who?
I like Obadiah Stane in this movie. I thought he worked. Of course, Robert Downey Jr. kills it as Iron Man in this movie. Some of the first flight scene, the whole cave scene is amazing. Yinsen actually comes back in Iron Man 3. They show how they first met, but Iron Man doesn't remember him. There's a lot of imagery actually with Obadiah Stane and Tony in this movie that I actually did some research and really closely resembles a lot of the imagery in Infinity War between Thanos and Tony. Little
fun facts for you.
Yeah. On top of that, anything I didn't like about the movie? I don't know. I've seen this movie twice in theaters. So I've seen it
Same here.
double digits maybe in my lifetime. Just to give you some context, I love these movies. I can admit when something's not good, but like I love these movies so much. So, what do you guys think?
I agree with you with Iron Man being A. It's a good movie, great like start for the MCU. Honestly, I kind of went in there like thinking like, it's gonna be
It's
like it's
Iron
gonna
Man.
be like yeah, because Iron Man at the time wasn't that big
Yeah.
of a
Mhm.
as a big as a name. Like he wasn't Avengers yet, and even back then, Avengers wasn't like as like big as they are now. Like
Yeah.
back then, they were just like, okay, it's
People
these
cared
guys.
more about Spider-Man and the
I think
X-Men.
Bugz is here.
Pretty much.
Is he?
It looked
I
like
keep hearing someone cutting in and out, like as people like join in and out.
Is he trying to join the tier list discussion today? Hello?
Hello?
I am not sure. Let me take a look at
Bugz,
the.
are you here?
Yeah, Bugz is in here.
I literally lost all the time. I'm like, oh shit, fuck.
Well, I thought you weren't gonna make it because
yeah.
you're stuck.
Oh, that's for tomorrow.
Oh, you're talking about
okay.
the other thing.
Well, we're
Yeah,
mid
yeah,
recording, so
yeah.
you just made an extravagant entrance.
Yeah. You finally got out from that female wrestler.
He doesn't know the joke yet.
Oh, he will.
How you
Is it in
been?
the podcast?
What?
Is it in the podcast?
It is in the podcast. Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
latest episode. Yeah. Well, okay, so we're doing the tier list for the MCU. So you're more than welcome to join us, Mr. Co-host.
Gotcha, guys.
All right. So Zero, you were saying or
Yeah, I feel like, it was Iron Man. No one really cared about him as much besides him having like a like a little cartoon TV show for a Saturday morning. And just the fact that he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. No one really like had any high expectations for it, and this movie really blew it out of the water.
yeah, 100%. Starwin?
I think it's a B tier movie.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So
So
I guess
you don't like Jeff Bridges, is what you're saying?
No, I love Jeff Bridges.
but
I feel like considering how early it was, like obviously it's not its fault that the movies got so much better, but considering what we got afterwards, it's not an A tier movie. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has expanded and done so much more, which obviously wasn't available at the time, but because of that, it falls short.
okay.
It
Bugz,
was good at the time.
what do you think about Iron Man 1?
Iron Man. That was with the yes, I remember. Okay, it was good. I liked it. It was an enjoyable film. It was the start. It was what really broke the MCU, like the first film.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I wasn't a big Iron Man fan, but as the MCU progressed, he started to grow on me. I did choose Team Cap, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Am I only Team Iron Man here?
Listen,
Yeah, I think you are.
Oh,
I had
Cap
my
me.
reasons for choosing Team Cap and Civil War, but we'll get there when we get to the film. But Iron Man 1, I'll give it a high B, low A.
Okay, so depending on how we rank the rest of the movies, I'll then adjust it accordingly. So it looks like it's gonna be end up being high B anyways. So, boop. There we go. Okay, The Incredible Hulk. C.
I say B. Oh wow. C.
I say C because this movie has zero significance, honestly, on anything. But on top of that, like, I don't think the movie's that good. I think it's okay. I think it's an okay movie to watch. The Hulk looks cool. I like the way the Hulk looks in this movie. I don't like the way he looks in that first whatever the fuck Hulk movie that was.
The Ang Lee movie.
Yeah.
Can we really count that? I mean, yeah, it kind of does play on like the continuation of it, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't count it.
well, his head was massive in that movie. Like,
It was
massive.
weird.
Yeah.
Just so bizarre.
Um,
Yeah, I do like this iteration of Hulk. Like this was like the first and only time you actually get to see this one.
yes.
And then they completely changed it where they actually, which I think was brilliant, with Mark Ruffalo taking over as Bruce Banner,
Yeah.
actually mapped his face and actually
Mhm.
created a CGI
Mhm.
model of it for the Hulk, which I
Because
thought was
this
genius.
Hulk looks nothing like Ed Norton. Like, it
Mm,
looks
definitely nothing.
nothing like him. But he was signed on to do the Avengers movie. I think
But he's
something
a dick.
happened. Oh, he's a dick. That's what happened. What
Yeah,
happened?
He was
He was-
writing the script, and he had like
Yeah.
a lot of the creative issues. He does that in a lot of the movies that he's in because he feels that like he knows what he's doing because he's been in the movie business so long, and so many of the movie hits like Fight Club and Red Dragon, et cetera, et cetera. So he just feels like if there's bad writing, he's just gonna redo it, and he doesn't give a fuck if you don't agree with him. He's just gonna do it because he feels that what he knows is right. And
So he's like Terrence
Marvel was
Howard.
just like, yeah, they were like, we ain't
Yeah.
fucking with you.
But here's the thing, though. I do give Edward Norton a little bit more credit because I remember they said like there was one thing that they wanted to do, but the studio was very hesitant, and that was like him talking about like suicide, like him like just wanting to end it all because he can't really have a real life because
Yeah.
he's constant fear about like his heart rate going up, him becoming the Hulk, and he said like they want to have a scene where he actually tries to shoot himself in the mouth, but the green guy basically takes over and stops the bullet. Like he basically like manages to like turn into the Hulk because the Hulk has like regenerative like healing factor that it couldn't kill him.
Yeah.
And like the other guy would not let it happen. And they even did like made a mention of it in Avengers. Like Mark Ruffalo's character even says like, I tried to
Yeah,
pull a
he
bullet
referenced
in
it.
me.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow, that's actually pretty interesting right there.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's not how the Hulk's powers work. That's fucking dumb.
Well, now in the comics, his powers kind of do work like that. Like if Banner dies or the Hulk dies, he dies for a little bit, but then he gets reincarnated as like a new monster, like almost like a new monster of the week type deal. It's very interesting from what my friend told me.
Which
I
is-
actually have to kind of read it.
Which is kind of what they did with Ragnarok, right? But we'll get there. So with the Incredible Hulk movie, it just, I don't know, man. It's okay. Like, it's okay. I did like the Abomination, but I liked him more when he was human. I feel like he kicked more ass when he was human. He
Yeah.
got his ass whooped at the final fight.
Well, he is gonna be he's gonna be doing the role again in the future Hulk film, not the future Hulk film, but with She-Hulk in him.
Yeah, I heard about
Oh, that'd
that.
be interesting.
I heard he was coming back. So anybody else? You said B, Zero,
Yeah.
Starwin.
He can stay there and see.
Okay, so he just stays right down there.
I vaguely remember Incredible Hulk and how it went, but what I can remember, I'd give it a C.
Okay, so he's gonna stay high C.
Okay, I see.
All right. Iron Man 2, right there.
Yeah.
I love this movie. Don't get me wrong. I watched it last night and I was like, man, this movie's so good. Yeah, I really like this movie, but I can see its shortcomings. There becomes a point in the movie where Pepper and Tony, they banter a lot in this movie. And
Yeah.
there becomes a point where it's kind of like, ooh, this is a little not funny anymore. Like, it's hilarious for maybe the first like 75% of the movie, but for the rest of it gets a little like annoying.
She has the
Well,
most
this is
lines
like
in
the
it.
beginning of like their relationship.
Yeah, they're
at that point.
dynamic. Yeah.
And also, this does introduce Natasha.
Yes, it
AKA
introduces
Black
Black Widow. We get to see a little more Happy. I like Happy.
Yes.
Yeah,
seeing
like John
Happy.
Favreau is happy.
We got. I mean, it's
Don
just.
Cheadle.
Yeah, we got.
Oh,
Don
we got
Cheadle as
Don
War
Cheadle
Machine.
replacing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we saw like the movie, like me and my parents went to go see it first, and then I went to go see it with my friends, and everyone's reaction was, "Who the fuck's Don Cheadle playing?" And it was like, "Oh, he's taking over for Terrence Howard." Wait, he's Rhodey now? Why didn't they just get him in the first place? I was like, I don't
he
know,
was
man.
actually the second option for Rhodey.
Yeah.
But they wanted the big buck, actor. That's what it was, and he ended up flopping. So I feel like this movie's really good. I do like Mickey Rourke as Whiplash.
He's amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but
wish
he was very underrated.
underrated.
Like,
Yeah,
He
Mhm.
wasn't utilized properly.
His fight scene at the end definitely should have been. What happened?
One of my favorite scenes is when in the racetrack when he just comes up to Iron Man's car.
Yeah, the racetrack is one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Takes off his
Um,
little jacket all slow like.
I like so there's a rhythm here in these movies in which Tony almost dies and then kind of like does something stupid because of it and then learns his lesson and does something better for it. That's kind of like the rhythm of these movies, and this movie's kind of started that. This movie I feel like was the actual start of the MCU. Because Iron Man 1 they didn't know what was going after this. They didn't even know if Iron Man 2 was greenlit.
Yeah.
And then Hulk, they kind of teased it, and Iron Man 2 was like, yeah, we kind of like are gonna make a cinematic universe here because the post-credit scene is Thor. Cap is referred to here. There's Captain America in comics and the Shield. And Nick Fury in the movie, he says, "Oh, I have some big issues down south," which is I think near Brazil where Hulk was. So he has a lot of they're just teasing all these characters. So this is definitely the definitive start. B movie. Definitely for me. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Again, watchable. Great? No. Dog shit? No. I don't think it's a dog shit movie.
It's like a one and done type deal. It's like, hey, I'm glad I saw this, but I would not
Yes.
want to watch it again.
This is the movie you only watch when you're doing a marathon. Like,
Yeah.
This is not a movie you're like, I'm gonna sit down and watch Thor today. No, it's like you're trying to watch the MCU movies in order, so you're like, I'm gonna watch Thor next. That's really how this movie feels. I did like the Destroyer. Loki was cool. I love Loki.
I think Loki was like Loki and Anthony Hopkins were like the major saving grace for that movie.
Yes.
The beginning and the end of the movie are great. It's everything that's on Earth that's fucking bad.
It's just boring.
It's
It's very
bad.
slow
Yeah.
and drawn out.
The
Yeah.
humor is bleh. I wish they would have just stuck with that like fantasy feel that they had, but then there would have been no way to introduce him into the Marvel universe. Like he had to have a reason to come to Earth.
We needed Jane and all that.
Which that love story doesn't even really make sense because she's like hitting him with her car, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're from outer space. Oh, you know what the 9 realms are? Oh my god, I love you. Come back and see me." He's like, "I'll be back, Jane." I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, you have no reason to like her. Like, no reason whatsoever. It's just pure sexual attraction."
I do like Darcy.
I mean, you've seen Chris Hemsworth, right?
So what's
I like Darcy. I've always liked Darcy. I just thought she was the best comedic relief in these movies, in 1 and 2.
I mean, it's Kat Dennings. Come on.
Yeah.
It's just a shame she didn't like have any like other parts and like after that.
Well,
I'm
now
glad
she
that
does.
she's in WandaVerse. Yeah, WandaVision.
Oh yeah, WandaVision. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, so she has a prominent role now. Bugz, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking there. It was one of my least of the Thor trilogy. My least favorite.
Really, you like Dark World more than the first?
I will say Dark World does kind of open up more of like
I would say
realms, I guess you could say.
Thor Dark World made me, it made me tear up. I'm not gonna
really
with that Loki. Though.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
Hang on, let's like talk about that.
Yeah, that movie's 3 movies away.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We still got a whole Avengers movie like in front of that. Yeah, I don't like his eyebrows in this movie. I don't know what it is.
They made him blonde, right? Like
Yeah.
match his hair. It's
It looks like he has no
baby.
eyebrows.
So weird.
Yeah, it was so weird and bizarre. It's like they're like, "Hey, Thor, you know what you should get? Frosted eyebrows."
Yeah,
Let's
he
go
looks
for it.
so weird. You can
Yeah,
tell
thank God
he's
they fixed it.
super green in this movie though. Like you can
Yeah.
tell going into this role.
Like he
how
doesn't
green
know
is.
like the character that well, like what he
Yeah.
would respond or how he would act.
But then when you see this and then you kind of see later on what he's become, and it's just like, dude, you're fucking Thor.
Yeah.
First Avenger, I'm gonna give it a high B.
I would disagree. I would give that high A.
Okay. I feel like it's good. It's a good movie. I think Captain America has the best trilogy out of all of them. But it just, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Then I see a double S tier.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm like, wait, we're putting so many things high up. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I think it's just like a basic good movie. It's an origin story. It tells the origin story properly. The action's great. A lot of the set pieces are awesome. Some of the the imagery is really good.
Yeah.
I like the montages of him being like cheesy Captain America, like for the kids and the people back home, and then the montages of him like kicking ass and saving the troops and stuff like that, and saving Bucky and everything. Like I love it.
Also,
like I said,
we gotta talk about Bucky on that one. Like Bucky was supposed to be a child, but they actually made it work. Where he's like Steve's older friend, I guess you can say.
yeah.
Aren't they the same age?
he's
Slightly. I think he might be
it's
like a
just
year
Steve
older
is
or
super
younger.
tiny. That's what it is. Steve is just a really small guy. So Bucky just looks a lot bigger. But they're
I
supposed
thought
to
it was
be
like
the
him being
same
like a
thing.
little bit older, and that's why he like looked up to Bucky or something like that.
No, it's
He
just
looked
Cap
up to
was
Bucky
super
because
weak.
Bucky was like a full grown man.
Bucky was a
Yeah,
whole
that's true.
soldier.
Yeah, he was a man.
So I thought that was like interesting how they like played that off, because when someone said like they casted Sebastian, what's his name? Like his full name?
Sebastian Shaw. Shaw, is it?
I
No,
think it's
Sebastian
Sebastian.
Shaw is a Marvel
that's
villain. His name is
Yes,
Sebastian.
Is it?
Yeah,
Bug-
Sebastian Shaw
Bugs,
is like
right?
a
Yeah.
Marvel.
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw is from the Hellfire Club.
Is it? Oh, whatever, dude.
Sebastian,
But-
Yes, that's a fan.
Sebastian, it starts with B.
no, it's
No, it's Sebastian Stan.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sebastian
It's,
Stan,
it's
there we
hard
go.
to hear you.
Like when they cast him as Bucky, I was like, this is not going to work. But they managed to pull off very well.
And we will see that in the future.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I said B, you say high A. Starwind Bugs.
I think it's B. The movie, I love Captain America. He was the reason I got into the MCU. But that movie opens up really, really slow. I know it's supposed to be an origin movie, but that shit is slow. And then they introduce so many characters that don't really mean shit later on. Like they never bring back Dum Dum Dugan. Like why show me Dum Dum
Well,
Dugan?
yeah, it was just like
Fucking
the Howling
again.
Commandos, because it was
Yeah.
just the product of its time, basically. Like they didn't do anything else with them.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like
saying.
I think they were gonna do more with the Agent Carter like spin-off, but they didn't really utilize it.
Yeah, Peggy is like a huge plot point at one point, and then she kind of just dies off. There's so much they introduce that doesn't really affect the MCU later on. Like
Yeah.
all we really get from this movie is Cap, and then Red Skull becomes something later on, but not really. So I'm saying it's B.
Bugs. Hello?
Yeah, no, yeah. I say it's right where it is. I was just gonna step out for it.
Oh, okay. Good?
Yeah, yeah. It's one of it's. I would say B. It's a great opening. Great. Brain fart.
Origin.
Origin.
Great origin. Yeah. Great origin. Cap was at the time relevant. I liked it, but again, second one was better for me. Sequel.
So much better.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I think the big takeaway from this first movie too, the ending scene, the credits, where he shows up in Times Square,
Mhm.
and then the dance that he owes Peggy. Those are the two like big takeaways from this movie that actually had long lasting effects. All right. Avengers.
At the end of that movie, there's that end credit scene where Nick Fury comes to talk to him. On the dossier, Mephisto's name is on that. But I've noticed that in the Disney Plus versions, they took it out. They edited it out.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, on the dossier that Nick Fury gives him about the Tesseract, it says that Mephisto is like helping them with something.
Hello.
I had read that
Yeah, we hear you.
Mephisto was supposed to be like a huge
can
part of the
hear me
MCU
better?
before.
Yeah, we hear you a little bit better. Sorry. That's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, a lot better. That's cool.
I'm using my Xbox headset.
So yeah, Mephisto. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's on the dossier that Nick Fury gives Cap, and it says that they're like having him help with the details, like trying to figure out what the Infinity Stones are. So originally, it wasn't even going to be Thanos. The Mephisto was going to be like a huge part of the MCU,
Mhm.
and then they decided not to use him, which is interesting because, like I said, on the Disney Plus versions, they struck it. If you watch the first Cat movie, the end scene, his name is like taken out.
Mm.
No, that's interesting.
Hint, hint for WandaVision.
Yeah, I hope not. Though, but yeah.
I hope not. Yeah. Okay. So that's Captain America: The First Avenger. Avengers.
Wow.
Yep.
I would have put it down in S tier.
Okay. So we got 2 double S's, 1 S. Bugz.
Uh,
A lot of pressure here.
yeah, it is. It's definitely an S. It's definitely an S. I just don't know if it's double S or just regular S.
Do you want to hear the arguments first?
Yeah, let me hear you guys' arguments. Let me hear your arguments.
I'm gonna be completely real. I think this is the best movie in the MCU.
Really?
Yes, just because it sets the precedent. I think people get like, not to say Infinity War and Endgame are not amazing fucking movies, but people also get a little biased because they have the most superheroes in them. I think that this movie has the best story in it. It's the first Avengers movie. This fucking movie killed it. Like, if it wasn't for this movie, we wouldn't have anything else after it. Like, this movie
That's true.
was the final, like, okay, this needs to succeed for this to continuously go. And this movie not only succeeded, it fucking blew it out of the water. This movie is amazing. I have seen this movie so many fucking... It's the most, I think, MCU movie that I've watched out of all of them. It's never a bore for me. I like Mark Ruffalo in this movie. I love Tony. I love Cap. I love Thor. Hawkeye's dynamic in this movie is great. Even Black Widow feels like she has something to do in this movie with Loki. Loki feels like a believable enough villain, obviously. The Tesseract plays a great role in this and setting up the stones and stuff like that for the next few phases. Thor feels like he comes into his own finally in this movie. Like, I feel like from what his first movie was, and then this one, they're 2 completely different people. Like the fights. Oh my god, seeing the Avengers fight with each other. I love
the
it.
triple threat with Thor, Iron Man, and Cap.
Yes, and then even on the helicarrier with Hulk and Thor, and like Cap and Iron Man arguing all the time, and then working together to fight the guys.
Also,
that Loki has.
2 major lines in that movie also play a big factor towards the end in Endgame.
Yes.
Yes, they
So
do.
we'll talk about that more after.
This movie is just the king. Like, it's what set the rest of the MCU on track, and it's what solidified Disney and Marvel as fucking kings in cinema, man. Because this movie is still what, like top 5 grossing movies of all time?
I think it's like in the top 5 region.
So this movie is just, like I said, it's the one. It's the one. It's the one that, like, when you want to get your friends into the MCU, these are one of the ones you start with. It's either like you give them Iron Man 1, or you give them Avengers. It's like, here, watch this, and then
you can learn everyone's origin story.
Yeah, exactly. Just understand why we're gonna watch these, because a lot of the Phase 1 movies, they do get a little like, you know, just watch this. Yeah. What about you guys?
So the reason why it's not like SS ranked here for me, it's good. It's great. I remember going to go see that movie with my friends at the time, and honestly, I was like all set. I had like everyone knows I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Like, that's my superhero to go to. And I'll like wear like my Spider-Man hoodie that zips all the way up whenever I go to like MCU movies now. But for that movie, I actually bought like a frisbee that has like a little like thing for Captain America's shield that you can actually walk around with as if you're carrying the shield. And then you can like throw it at people. And I have a shirt that's like Captain America's like comic book uniform, where you have the please silence your cell phones during the presentation, please.
We're at a movie theater right now.
They have like, you know, the star and the stripes. I have like a shirt that's like that. It's like a costume shirt. I actually dressed up as Captain America for that, like as best as I could, just because I was really excited for this movie. And I'm not going to say it's the greatest. It's like the mecca. It's great. There is like one or two like tropes that kind of falls into, but then again, what movie doesn't have its tropes that like falls into, and kind of predictable. It was great, but it's not like Endgame and Infinity War great. Like it's not like that. But I do recognize the story and how a lot of this stuff plays into the bigger picture of the MCU. But towards me, it's just like, yeah, it's great, but it's not, again, the holy grail of like cinematic movies, or the Marvel cinematic movies at least.
Okay, Starwin.
So I kind of agree with you there that it doesn't have the best story, and it's definitely not the best movie in the MCU. But
Mhm.
if we're talking about how it interacts with the MCU, what it does for the MCU is no other movie has matched that. The way that it opens up them to a whole other level of characters, like introducing space and Thanos, which is something that we get to see, and then like the Tesseract and everything else. Loki coming into play, actually having the characters all team up. Like no movie had done this before, which is why Avengers was such a hit and why it still is such a hit. Like AJ said, like it did open up the way for everything else that we're getting now. So it definitely is an SS tier movie. It doesn't have the best story. It doesn't have the best action scenes, I would say. But again, no one had done anything like this before, which is what makes it the SS tier and how it affects the MCU in a whole.
And there's a Thanos scene at the end.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They introduced
Basically, to go against them is to go against death.
Mm-hmm.
And this was before we had Josh Brolin officially, coming into the
But
role.
we knew we were getting Thanos at one point or another.
Yes.
Yeah, I think everyone knew at that point we were going to be getting him.
Bugz, so what is your
My
confirmation?
final assessment.
Yeah.
We can leave it there. Yeah, double S.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Cool. Iron Man 3, this is a controversial one.
I want to see where you place this one. This will determine if I stay around in this podcast. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Really?
This movie is an S tier fucking movie.
Oh my god. This deserves to be like C or B right here for me.
Oh my god, that low?
Yeah. Should I like start my rant now, or should I
So,
wait?
I fucking love this movie. This was a Tony Stark movie. This is not an Iron Man movie. This is a Tony Stark movie. This movie takes everything that happened after Avengers and capitalizes it on it perfectly. He has anxiety. The man gets anxiety attacks. Like, he is so scared of death. Like, he knows what's coming. He knows what he has seen. He's the only one that's seen it. He knows he's the only one that's seen it. And there are like Omega level fucking threats going on in the universe. And he is just losing it. He is overconfident. He fucking wants to take on the world. That's what happens when the Mandarin shows up. He just wants to take out the Mandarin. Give him his whole address. He wants to fight, blah, blah, blah. He's Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting everyone in danger around him. All the people he loves, he puts them in danger because he's building suits. He can't sleep. All he can do is build suits because he needs to be prepared. He always needs to be ready. 24/7, he needs to be ready. Always. This movie sets the pace for the rest of the fucking cinematic universe. This movie is the reason Age of Ultron happened. This movie is the reason Civil War happened. And this movie leads into why he is for the Sokovia Accords in Civil War. On top of that, this leads into why he is the way in Infinity War and Endgame. So to see the character go from like super drunk, fucking like asshole, arrogant, like weapons dealer, guy, and then he becomes an energy he makes an energy company and he gives his assets to Pepper, and he was always almost on the brink of death. He overcomes that, creates a new element, goes into Avengers with this newfound lease on life, and Avengers brings him right back down to the fucking shitter. And he shows it in this movie. Like, he just shows it. Like, the acting in this movie is phenomenal. Even from the kid. I forgot the kid's name. I love him in that kid. Like, it's so fucking funny.
He does make an appearance again in
Endgame.
Endgame.
Yeah. And I'm just
I didn't
like,
know it until like me and my friends like had to research it right after the movie.
and like just
I
like,
kind of figured it was him, but I couldn't recall it at the moment because I was still bawling my eyes
but
out,
something
but,
just things are
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, that's why. But
Ty Simpkins.
there you go. That's his name.
Yeah.
This-
Oh man.
Like when he's like, did your daddy walk out on you? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, don't be a pussy. And it's like, come on, man. Like, this is key Iron Man, key Tony Stark. Like I said, this movie just sets the precedent for the Tony Stark arc, the most out of all of his movies, and in general for just the next Avengers after it, and the Avengers following that, and Civil War. So, yeah, this movie just means a lot to me. Like, I really love this movie. I know it's the unpopular opinion, but it's whatever. Fuck you.
Should I like now give my rant on the whole thing?
Yeah,
Like
go ahead.
we've heard AJ's list of fuck uppery. This is gonna be Zero's like major list of fuck uppery. They had AIM. They didn't fucking utilize MODOK. Instead, they gave this a generic villain. What fucking Aldrin or whatever the hell his name is. You see, that's how much I don't give a fuck about this character at all. Like you could have done so much more where like this man is like so consumed about getting Tony Stark and he knows he has like these deformities, but then he starts like adding implants and cyber connects in him. Like you could have done so much more. And AIM is like one of the biggest terrorist companies around in the MCU. And then you fucking disband it? Don't even have it lingering around? No. Fuck that. And then on top of that, Pepper's the one who ends the whole thing because it was like the most generic thing where it's like, oh, I could have made her perfect. She was already perfect. It's like, oh god, you fucking lost me at that. You had me with him being paranoid. You had me where he had like these moments of anxiety where he's constantly thinking about, oh man, what's up there? What's going on? From what I read, like someone said like this should have been, or this was like a scrapped idea where he actually, the mid-credit scene is where he builds a suit, goes out into space and actually finds the Guardians. That would have been better than him just like telling the Hulk, hey, I feel sad. He had haha, funny, nice little cameo appearance. Haha. Nah, fuck that. And then, oh my god damn. I can go on for like another 3 hours, but I'm just gonna say waste of a good villain, waste of a great organization. Should have been a whole lot more of a better fight. And on top of that, you don't know this, but they were pandering for like the Chinese audience because originally this got cut out from the film, but it would have made so much more sense. At the beginning, Stark is actually approached from a doctor, and he's like, "Hello, Mr. Stark. I'm this and that. I'm like one of like the head most like scientists or doctors in like this field where like your condition. I can actually help remove what was it, the fragments, I forgot what they were called, but he can remove them from him, and that way he doesn't need the arc reactor anymore. And then you could have had him like have so much more conflict with it, like if I lose this, I'm no longer Iron Man. This will be it, this will be done. So instead of him being healed up, he actually wants to keep it. But no, they basically were trying to panderize to like the Asian market because China is like very big with like movies. So then there's also this whole other scene where they have the doctor coming in and then talking to Jarvis in Mandarin, and Jarvis is talking to Mandarin as well. And they keep on cutting like scenes in the movie where he's talking to like the doctor. So a lot of stuff that they had that would have been like good, they actually cut out, and it was actually only for like the Eastern market. And just yeah, just know that I feel very hurt from this movie. I was expecting a whole lot more. It could have been a whole lot better, but yeah, that's my opinion. It doesn't deserve an S ranking. Maybe you could put it in the B, but not S.
Starwin?
So this movie exactly is why I was asking if we were judging movies based on their own merit or how they impact the MCU. I feel like this movie by itself, if this is like the first Iron Man movie you're watching, it's not very good. By itself, the movie isn't good.
Thank you.
But not for the reasons you said. Everything you said was just,
No, yeah, I feel like those. I don't want to go into it. I don't want to make an argument.
Asshole, that's why.
But your reasons are nitpicky, like comic book fanboy bullshit. No,
Oh
offense.
yeah, of course.
Like I feel
no, none taken. That's how it was for me. That's
like
why.
your
Because
expectations
I
were
expected so much.
way too unrealistic. Like for a 2-hour movie standard.
yeah.
I mean,
I just feel like a lot of the
drink
things
candy.
you asked for wouldn't have played out well
At all.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't
but
have
for
had
the rest
time
of the
to
series as
explain
well.
anything about Tony if they had to show all this shit about MODOK and Mandarin. Like that's why they gave us those type of characters.
Oh
Characters that
god,
you're
don't
not
even get me
supposed to really
started on
give
the
a fuck
Mandarin.
about.
Thank you for not bringing that up when I was
Yeah.
like going on my rant because oh god. Okay, just continue, please, because if I go back onto the Mandarin,
But
holy
yes, I
shit.
feel like if you go into the MCU and this is like the only Iron Man movie you watch, it's very hard to try and entice you to watch other movies. That's my problem with it. It has a lot of really good scenes, but only if you know the character and seeing
Yeah.
where he's going. So like it does well for people that like Iron Man and that are very invested in the MCU, but I feel like it's a very hard movie to get newcomers to watch.
Which why are you watching it at Iron Man 3? Like, you know,
Because you don't know if you want to watch it.
Because
But
you
not
have
all
people
series
who are like telling
that.
you to watch it. Yeah, and also you have people who are like, "Oh, let me get on like this jumping point now because this came out right after Avengers." This is where people were like, "Oh, like hero movies are amazing. Everyone's talking about them. It's not like the Batman Forever problem or Batman and Robin or the god awful Man of Steel."
But
No, not
not
Man of
only
Steel,
that, like not
Superman
all
Returns.
numbered films need to be watched in order. Like you can watch Mad Max 1 through 4, and watching any of them doesn't impact your experience. The
Viewing
same thing
experience,
with
yeah.
like the Alien movies. Well,
Or
the
Fury
most
Road.
recent Aliens movie. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like not all numbered movies have that problem.
Yeah,
So
like you
for
can go
Iron Man
into Aliens without watching Alien.
Yeah, Iron Man specifically, it's hard to get other people to watch. But if you look at it long term, what it does for the MCU and how it sets up Tony Stark, it is an S rank movie. This is exactly why I asked how we're ranking these movies. The way that this movie sets up Tony is unbelievable. Watching Age of Ultron, watching Infinity War, like AJ said, it does so much for his character, and so it is an S movie.
okay.
Yeah. All right, so can we make a compromise and move to A at least?
Depends on Bugz.
Yeah.
Bugz, you still want to be in this podcast? I know I have no power over that, but I have to make that threat at least once.
But you also have to think about his arguments. His arguments hold no valid points
Yeah,
compared
They
to
really don't.
it,
Bugz,
it
you
being
still
a
wanna
movie as a
Sacco
whole.
has a giant head.
And like, yeah, like he wants a giant head dude who had no prior experience into this movie. Like, and then when they were already setting up Thanos, like
This also doesn't mean AIM can't come back. Like we have like
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
whole
that's
other
true.
phase. Like
That
AIM
is
could
true.
return.
like they're bringing the Mandarin back for
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for Shang-Chi. Well, they had to fucking fix their goddamn mistake. That's why.
I don't know.
All
if that
right,
was a
so
mistake.
all right,
Is Bugz
Bugz,
here?
if you want Bugz, you better be here, man. Yeah, Bugz is still here.
Oh, there
Yeah,
he
Bugz,
is.
listen,
Laughing.
man.
Laughing at
You're
us.
away right now. Everything's all cool. but you wanna
Where's
come
it
back on
averaging
good
at right
terms.
now at the moment?
So
Just say
at
A.
the moment, it's about an
Better
A.
So we
It's
got
high A.
we got an S, an A, an S, a C,
An
and what
S.
else?
No, SSC.
Oh, so okay, so it's an A. It's
I'm
an
willing
A
to
right
make
now.
it an
Yeah, it's an
A.
A. You can make it high A, the top of A, or the low of S.
It's definitely. Let's go with A.
Okay.
Yeah, at least
Bugz.
above.
Okay. It's high.
If I had to pick
It's the highest
favorites
A.
in this group now, you're definitely
Just-
becoming the first one.
It's just because I favored another movie more than it.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's also one of my reasons as well. When we get there, you'll see.
All right. Now that the controversial one is out the way,
Oh, dude, that wasn't the controversial one yet.
Dark World. D.
Place that. Yeah, that sounds about right. No, actually, I'd probably put that at C, right behind Hulk.
Okay.
But it's probably going to move down to D anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
there's nothing else that's gonna be lower than this movie. This movie puts me to sleep. It's bad.
It introduces
Nothing.
like
The reality
one
stone.
thing. It introduces one thing, and that's just like the setup for Ragnarok.
Not really.
Not really, no.
Not at all, because the
Yeah.
beginning of Ragnarok sets up for Ragnarok.
Yeah.
This movie does nothing for the rest of the MCU
Age
besides
of
tell you
Ultron
that
sets
Jane
up Ragnarok.
sucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also true.
This movie sets up the reality stone. That's it. It tells
Yeah,
you where the
that's all it
reality
does.
stone ends up, and then that's it. Like, that's GG's.
Thor loses a mother. That's about it. That's all you need to know.
Hey, spoiler alert!
So yeah, I gotta give it a D. D. You said C. Bugz.
Yeah, it doesn't matter towards me.
I can't even see the ranking.
We gave it a D.
Didi, it's definitely, yeah, I would give it a high D.
Okay. So it's gonna stay there.
Okay.
All right, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
SS.
S.
SS towards me.
S.
It's an S.
Can I explain why it deserves to be SS?
So I think it's an S because I don't think it holds up to the SS movies. I think Winter Soldier is a solid fucking movie. It's probably the most perfect solo. Yeah, I would say it's the perfect. Maybe got 1 or 2 in there, but 3 maybe, but 4 maybe actually. Now I'm thinking about it. But this movie for the solo, like, you know, single superhero guy movies, like, this is it. You got your spy movie, you got your action movie, you got your comic book movie. The elevator scene alone is fucking amazing. The story is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
Captain America is fucking amazing. Nick Fury and Black Widow are amazing in this movie. The introduction of Falcon. This movie's perfect. I just don't think long term that it holds up to the double S standard. Like, yeah, I think the what came out of this movie, the Shield.
Can I say? Oh, a lot of stuff came out from this.
Well, go ahead, Zero. Go ahead.
We had Shield's knowledge on like all the other metahumans and everyone else who's like basically potential candidates to help, you know, work with Shield, because we had Doctor Strange listed in there. I don't think they mentioned Reed Richards, but apparently
we already knew Nick Fury was doing this. He mentions this in another movie.
Yeah, but not like, you know, other characters as well. Like, they never mentioned Doctor Strange. Like, at this point, I don't think Doctor Strange was even like on the radar of being in the MCU yet.
No.
So we had that. We had the introduction of Bucky coming back to life. We had the introduction that Hydra, even though we believed was disbanded, actually buried themselves and rewrote themselves into history, into S.H.I.E.L.D., which was a great twist. What else did we get from this? Basically, we got Falcon working with Cap, basically like that very like tight friendship that they have with each other. We got to know a little bit more like how Steve and Romanoff like play off each other, because honestly, everyone thought that they would end up together because in the comics they were like known as like love interests, but in this they're actually more like good friends. We had Peggy's niece coming into this factor as well as Agent 13, who's also, you know, a very crucial part in the Marvel comic universe, because she is actually the one who shot Steve Rogers.
Wait, what did you just say?
Yeah, she was the one who shot Steve Rogers.
Who?
Agent 13. Peggy's niece. In the comic, like, you thought it was Crossbones who did it, but
no, Crossbone kills Cap. Supposedly he kills him.
So hang on, you want me to tell you like what happened with that whole situation?
I feel like we're getting away from the movies. I feel like we're getting away from the movies. This is not rank the comic books.
Okay.
This is rank the movies.
This opens up a whole lot more. It has the introduction that, you know, this is where like he's really not like wanting to trust whatchamacallit, S.H.I.E.L.D. He's like really kind of dissing himself. And this has always been Cap's thing. He wants to protect the country, but he wants to still hold his values because he's not happy with how S.H.I.E.L.D. is running things. He doesn't feel like he can trust them. He finds out that they've been keeping tabs on him, even though he just wants to like live a normal life. And his like cute neighbor.
Plot.
I mean, yeah, but this is basically like what leads up to like him not wanting to go with the Accords as well. Like, it's because of these actions that S.H.I.E.L.D. have, and the fact that they were able to be embedded by Hydra is what causes him to be like, you know what? I need to act on my own. I'm not going to be working with you guys anymore. I'll just stick with the Avengers, and I'll just be like the intermedium, like the third party, like the privatizer for the world right there.
Starwin?
Great story, awesome fight scenes, introduces a whole lot more to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and as like a standalone movie, I could just watch this like over and over again and again.
All right.
I think it's the best solo movie. It belongs there in the S. Like, there's other movies that do so much more because they have so many other characters to work with. It's not fair. So it's the best.
That's why I made the SS tier.
Yeah, it's the best solo movie, and I think it's S.
I think that this movie, I feel like didn't have too many long lasting effects on
You just get Bucky.
the MCU.
That's really it.
You get Bucky and then the scene of the helicarrier falling on like fucking DC. Like, because I feel like the effects go farther up to Avengers because they destroy Shield and then they end Hydra in Age of Ultron, and then that's kind of like it. Like there's no fallout from it. I do think it's better than Iron Man 3. So I would have ranked it on the S next in front of Iron Man 3. It is, like Starwin said, the best solo movie. But yeah, I just, there's just other movies that have, like he said, way too many things going on of it that is not fair to Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna stay, and I think Bugz said S as well.
And then they also hint at Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Zero mentioned that. So it's a double S and 3 S's, so it's gonna stay in the super high. It's definitely gonna stay in the high S. Like it's gonna stay right there. Nothing's going in front of it. Guardians of the Galaxy. Boom.
Yes.
I think that this movie is a beautiful introduction to amazing characters that do a lot in the MCU. All of their roles matter so much in Infinity War and Endgame. This movie's awesome. Like I don't think there's a part in this movie where I'm kind of just like, this is boring. Like no, like this movie is fucking awesome. The actions in it, the fucking comedy is amazing. The interactions with all the characters, they just mesh so well. Everyone works so well. The dynamics are there.
Break. Dance battle. Fucking dance battle. All you need to know.
Yeah, it's all you need to know. Like everyone does just their part in this movie. James Gunn did an amazing job with this movie. Visually, it's awesome. The music is awesome. Just yeah. What about you guys?
This probably has to be definitely a S. This probably has to be like the reason why Guardians is now getting so much love in the comic book series. And like this iteration of like the Guardians is probably like now known as the definitive Guardians. Like beforehand, you didn't have Rocket Raccoon or Gamora or even Star-Lord. You actually just had Yondu. I believe Doctor Strange was a part of it at one point, as well as Silver Surfer. No, he wasn't a part of it, Doctor Strange?
It's the team that's at the end credit scene of the second Guardians.
With
the
Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone, the Yondu, the crystal guy, the robot, the chick, and I can't remember what the other guy's name is.
Oh, that's interesting. I know Yondu was one of them, and I know Silver Surfer was as well.
At a point, yeah.
Yeah. So I honestly love it. Such a great movie. This was like the one where I was like kind of worried, like I'm not sure this is going to be good or not.
Yeah.
Even though I knew Tim Gunn was behind it, and I love a lot of his work, like Super and Slither. So he definitely knocked it out of the park on this one.
Yeah, I was worried about this one going into it. I was like, is this gonna be good? Like this is so random, and then it killed it. It was amazing. Like my family watches this one. Like, and my family are not big comic book people. They love this movie. Like, if you think, like, I always said, I go into the casual mindset with these fucking movies, and the casual mindset is that Guardians of the Galaxy is fucking amazing. If you just gotta enjoy these movies as a filthy fucking casual. That's just literally how you gotta think about these movies sometimes, and where they go, and how people get so invested into these things. So yeah, SS Starwin.
C.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That was from left field.
So you did not cry when he said we are all Groot.
Nope.
That's good to know.
Whoa, I need a reason. I need a fucking reason.
So I don't like the tone that it sets for the MCU. Like you said, you have to go with that filthy casual mind, and I feel like it's just way too casual. The way that they like the jokes are so dumb and so.
So you didn't
stupid.
like the Howard the Duck cameo?
No.
Wait.
No.
I'm sorry. The MCU is as filthy casual as filthy casual gets. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
And the Guardians of the Galaxy is the epitome of the filthy casual
Like-
side of it.
Like, I have to admit, I love all of these movies with all my heart, but I have to admit, this is like king filthy casual here. This is why these movies are important. This is why nobody gives a fuck about DC.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
This is why DC hired James Gunn to do the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, to make it as filthy casual as possible. Like,
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. I don't like the tone it sets for the rest of the movies because the way that this movie went, Thor also changed. And a whole bunch of other things are happening because of the tone that this movie set. I don't like the jokes in the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't like the first one. I don't like the second one. I'm not for them. It's just so 80s comedy, and I just don't like. I like the
that's the
characters,
point, though.
but I'm not for it.
That's the whole fucking point, though, isn't it? That it's 80s comedy.
Yeah,
So it's not that you think the movie's bad. It's not your taste.
it's bad
That's
for the
it. That's
MCU.
pretty much it. Oh
No,
oh.
it's no.
It's
Now,
definitely
yeah,
bad for
you definitely now that's going too far. That's definitely going
It's
too
bad.
far.
It,
No, you
dude,
just don't
That's
like it.
crossing the line.
No, it has nothing to do with me liking it. So like if you look at all the like the serious tones that the other movies have and like what they're trying to set up for, then you have like I understand that they're supposed to be like the comedy relief. They're the pranksters, they're the like outcasts or whatever the hell. That's like their appeal.
That's the thing.
But how it affects the other Marvel universe and how like because this movie did so well, the other movies had to change to try and catch up to the hype. It changes the entire tone for the MCU.
But
I
does
don't
it
think
really?
it does. Yes, it does. A lot of the same jokes and like the formula that they use in Guardians of the Galaxy, you can see it in other MCU movies because no one thought that Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be a hit, and because they saw the way that it was, the comedy they used, they realized they didn't have to do like amazing writing or like amazing scenes. They could just give you bullshit jokes, and people would eat it up.
But
and
I
people
like
keep
the
watching
writing
it.
in Guardians 1.
I don't like it.
I think I feel like I should be offended.
Yeah, right? Like I
like
feel
that,
very
too.
offended.
I just don't think it's a good MCU movie. But I think it's a C. That's all.
It's
I'm
there
saying.
for it's there for a good laugh though.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. That's all it is. It's just a fun, stupid movie.
I don't see these lasting effects that you say that this movie has on the MCU. At least in a negative light. I think this movie was nothing but positive for Marvel, and it showed that
Financially,
Marvel could bring in characters that no one knew about and make it feel important. And
but that's why they were able to take this risk because no one gave a fuck about the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what this is. This was just them trying something out with characters that no one really knew or no one really gave a fuck about. That's why Drax is the way that he is because no one knows who Drax is. So they could do whatever they had, whatever liberties they had with the.
All right,
They
I think
only
we're
know
done.
who Dave Bautista is.
I think we're done with this movie. So we got 2 S's, a C, and what Bugs?
Oh,
He said
that's
S.
So 3 S's and a C. Unfortunately, your C
It ranks
brings
out
it
to an
down.
A.
Yeah, high A. Unfortunately,
Yeah, A.
because of some dumb fuck in the chat. Your points are more ridiculous than Zero's Iron Man 3. I like Zero again.
Nah.
This is actually putting me in good graces again.
Like, I'm not even mad that he hates Iron Man 3 anymore. Like, because he's allowed to have that opinion.
this is just a continuation from last week where you just said fuck Star Wars.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's just fuck Star Wars.
I'm adding a 6th fuck Starwind in there. All right. Okay, I guess. Whatever you say, man. Avengers Age of Ultron. Now,
Okay, I think I know where this one's gonna go.
pre WandaVision, I would have given this movie like a B. Post WandaVision, I give it about a low A.
I agree with you on that one.
But are we doing pre WandaVision or post?
We're post WandaVision now.
We're
So this
post-WandaVision.
is the effects of the movie. Oh, you weren't here when we mentioned that. Yeah, that's right. We're ranking these movies on how good they are and their effect on the MCU as a whole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. this movie, like at first when you first watch it, you kind of just like, that was okay. It's another Avengers movie, superheroes doing superhero campy stuff, like whatever. You know, they killed Ultron pretty fast. Whatever it is, you watch it, you enjoy it. It's whatever. It's a B movie. You know. It's the appetizer for what's to come later. But now that you watch 6 episodes, I believe, of WandaVision, this movie just blows my mind now. Like, holy shit. The theories and the fallout of this movie and like how things affect. Well, first of all, this movie affects Civil War, right? Tony in this movie comes from Iron Man 3, and from Iron Man 3 and Avengers Ultron, he goes into Civil War, and from Civil War, he goes into... Actually, this movie is the... what happens if we lose? We'll do that together, too. This movie goes into Endgame.
And the suit around the world.
And the suit around the world. Ultron in general. Wanda and Pietro go into WandaVision, and even further with like, you know, it goes into Vision and Wanda throughout the rest of the MCU. It's just like it has long-term effects. This movie aged like wine. It was, you know, it's okay, and then the older it gets, the better like the movie becomes for the MCU. So I'm gonna give it a low A. Anyone else?
No, I agree.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Cool. All right. Ant-Man. I want to give it a low B.
I'd probably put it before Cap.
Okay. That's fair enough. That moves it about right here. I think it's good. I think it's really good. It's a solid movie. It's watchable. It's enjoyable. Nothing amazing. You know, it introduced Ant-Man. It didn't do anything else crazy. Like, it had another useless villain.
Introduced the quantum realm.
But yeah, that's the thing, is that it introduced the quantum realm. Quantum realm does so much for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then does so much for Endgame. You know, like Ant-Man, for some reason, again, it aged like wine. For some reason, he's the key to fucking Endgame. And apparently he's gonna be the key to the rest of the fucking Phase 4 or 5.
I feel like it kind of switched it though, because I think Spider-Man was going to be leading that charge.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man is the new Tony, technically. So
yeah.
But Ant-Man is introducing a lot of like he said, the quantum realm. It's introducing, you know, time travel and shit. Like
and soon Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, and potentially the Fantastic Four. So Ant-Man is doing a lot. He's doing a lot.
Or definitely.
Well, Kang kind of confirms that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I guess that
eventually, even WandaVision, when they keep referencing the aerospace engineer.
Yes. So I said low B.
And the little 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Homecoming.
Yes. No, it was Far From Home.
No, it was Far From Home. Yeah.
Yes. So Zero bumped it up. Starwind.
I think I would rather watch Ant-Man than the first Iron Man.
Okay, so that bumps it up. And Bugz?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a good place.
Okay. So it's sitting right there pretty. I'm not mad about that.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's like Starwind said, it's not fair for the first Iron Man, you know, to hold up to what came after. Like, it's literally the first movie. Civil War, I'm torn on. I am torn on this movie. The fanboy in me wants to say S behind Winter Soldier, but the critic in me wants to say like right here. But I'm gonna go with the fanboy, and then I'll let you guys decide.
Civil War.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the fanboy in me because this movie's fucking awesome. This movie is so good. I love this movie. Oh my god. And the plot is so stupid. Like, the plot is ridiculous.
Oh my god.
The plot is Batman versus Superman, just people care. That's literally the plot.
Shadow in this movie. That's all he is.
Yeah, like the plot is not good. Let's be real. But everything else is fucking amazing. Like, holy shit.
This is where Spider-Man also makes his
debut.
Yes. And Black Panther.
Yep.
I would have put Civil War at SS.
Okay, you know what? So that kind of bumps it up to here. I think that this movie also again sets more precedents, right? Because this movie greatly affects Infinity War, like
Yes, it does.
greatly,
Definitely, yeah.
which then in turn greatly affects Endgame. But man, this, like I said, the plot is what holds it back from being double S for me. Like I said, yo, if you really like think about it, this and Batman vs Superman have the same fucking plot.
Yep.
It's the same plot, but executed so much better. And it's just because it's Marvel. People care. You know, no one gives a fuck about Batman vs Superman. And it's like this movie came out a month after BVS. So watching BVS, I was more hyped for this movie because I was just like, I need something good.
To cleanse my palate.
Please give me something.
I remember when the trailer first appeared in the Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
Yes.
And literally, me and my friend was just like we had him in a whole Spider-Man suit because we knew Spider-Man. He kept theorizing that Spider-Man was gonna appear too. I was like, yo. And then once that trailer finally came out, I'm like, oh my god. I loved it. I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
I remember the weeks leading up to it. They were like leaking what Spider-Man's mask was gonna look like, and it was like, no, it's gonna be this one. It's gonna be that one.
That's the funniest stuff right there.
Yeah.
But as soon as you see him like swinging, saying, "Hey everyone!" Oh man.
Dude, there was a trailer where they revealed him at the end. I was kind of upset. I was like, you should have just saved it. Like I thought Spider-Man should have just been a shock. Like I did not.
Shock and all.
Yeah, I did not want to know that he was in this
like
movie.
a huge like
Black
surprise
Panther
right there.
No, we knew Black Panther was in it. Yeah,
Awesome.
we
Like,
knew
as
like a
When
year.
they revealed them when they were
D23.
panning the 6v6. They revealed
Yeah,
them.
when they did
Yeah.
the D23, they had Chadwick Boseman come out and say, "Oh, we have Black Panther," and they were like telling him as a joke, like, "Whose side are you going to choose?" And they had him between Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.
Well, in all fairness, he only chose Team Iron Man because he wanted to kill Bucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
He
Didn't
just
give a fuck
wanted
about anything
Bucky's
else but Bucky. It's funny because watching the airport scene, Team Cap would have been fucked without Wanda. Like,
Yeah.
she saves them so many times in that fight, and I'm just like, bro, Team Iron Man is washing the floor with these dudes. There's just a bunch of army dudes like running around.
Pretty much.
She was the only one with powers.
Yeah. Fucking, they got like Vision, Spider-Man. They got two Iron Man and War Machine.
Oh god. Can we just talk about like Spidey taking on Winter and Falcon? Like that was probably the
he beat
best.
both their asses.
Cool.
And
Did
then
you have a metal arm?
this is not like an adult Peter who could probably beat the crap out of them. This
Yeah.
is like a green Peter who was
Mhm.
like. See,
This is a
why I
fanboy
love
Peter.
this. Yeah, this is why I love. Like,
He's just happy to
Tom
be there.
Holland's version.
This is AJ in a suit.
I just love that he was talking throughout the whole
Fuck
thing.
you.
Underoos.
But yeah, man, this movie. Okay, I guess we're all in agreement of this position then.
No, I'd bring it behind Winter Soldier. I think Winter Soldier's the better film.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I definitely love the Winter Soldier in Cap 2.
Yeah.
so
This is where they started. This is where they started like messing with my emotions. Like I wanted more Bucky. And then
Okay.
they just kept making him more and more.
so Bugz
more.
and Starwind brought it back to there. I think it's still fair. It's still fucking fair.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. Ugh, this one's hard. I want to give it a B. What B? Maybe here?
Yeah, because they didn't really do a whole lot with this one. They kind of played it safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's a decent movie. You can watch it, you enjoy it. It's good. It sets up the Time Stone. It sets up Strange. I think Strange is going to make more of an impact now. You know?
Yes.
But overall, good movie. Good stuff. Everybody agree or?
It's where is it? Right behind Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll give it. Yeah, I'll give it that.
Moving on then. Guardians 2. Beep.
I would probably put it before Iron Man.
Which Iron Man? The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay. So
Well, Star Wars is gonna bring it down. So
yeah, Star Wars gonna bring it back down anyways. Okay. All of his criticisms for Guardians 1 is how I feel about this movie. I think this movie took it too far. Like, I think this movie is literally joke fest. Like, when did this movie come out? 2000 what? Whatever. This movie is way too joke filled. Like, way
this is
too
where I've
joke
learned
filled.
that if you stand very, very still, no, they won't, and not make a sudden move, I can be invisible.
You see, it's stuff like that.
Yo, Dave Bautista here was a joke, bro.
I love Dave
really
Bautista, but he's a big fucking joke in this movie, especially. Like,
He's I mean, he's a joke in all of them, though. Like,
but he's a little more serious in the first one. Like, I can take him serious enough. He's
yeah, but
just dumb.
because he actually has a reason. Of why
Yeah,
he
he's
wants to,
scary.
like, think.
You know,
And once that was over, he was just like, huh.
no one's scared of Drax anymore. That's the issue.
No, yeah.
Yeah, Drax
he
became
kept
like that
messing with
lovable
Mantis.
idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
So I don't like this movie personally. I think it's okay to watch. I think it's better than Thor. I'd rather watch this than Thor. Like, I can tell you that. Any of the Thor 2 movies down here, I'd watch this shit before that any day. And I don't want to watch. I'd watch anything over Hulk besides Dark World. I'd choose Hulk just for the abomination. But like, yeah. What about you guys? So Zero said he put it before Iron Man, and then Starwin.
this is also
Behind
a
Thor.
dirty joke.
Behind
shit
Thor. Okay. All right. Bugz, how do you feel about Guardians 2?
Where's it at right now?
High C.
I see. Yeah, I'd put it before Thor. I enjoyed that movie.
Okay, so it's gonna stay right there. It's gonna sit pretty right there. That's about the average out. Homecoming. S, excuse me. Do I believe that? Do I believe
Yes.
that?
Yes, you do.
I'm thinking,
That's
hold on.
right there.
I'm
Put
thinking.
an A, to tell you the truth.
I'm thinking about low S before Guardians A. I'm thinking.
I would say it's high A before Guardians.
Okay, I'm gonna say low S. I have my reasons. Hearing the Spider-Man theme song in the beginning, low S. It was the first time we've ever heard the Spider-Man theme song in one of the movies besides is it 2 with Tobey Maguire or is it 3?
First
the
one.
Parade. It's the first one?
The first one. They play the Spider-Man before.
The Asian lady on the violin. Right?
That was number 2.
Okay. See, I don't really give a fuck about those movies.
There was a guy beforehand in the first one where he's like singing on the guitar. He's like, I think we should all give him one big hug. And then he goes, look out. Here comes the Spider-Man. And then
Oh,
yeah,
God.
the other lady going the other, like, the same song, just the different verse
I'm
for
going
it.
to tell all y'all right now, I do not like the Tobey Maguire trilogy.
I thought it was okay.
I do not like
It's
Tobey
not
Maguire.
my favorite. Like, I put Andrew Garfield's trilogy, well, not trilogy, but movies before the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry, man. That's how I feel.
I don't like any of them. I like Andrew Garfield more as Spider-Man, but I don't like the movies. I don't like any of those movies. I
Andrew
love
Garfield was
Homecoming,
a
though.
much
You're not
better
excited
Spider-Man
for
than
Sam
Tobey
Raimi
Maguire.
direct Doctor Strange 2?
Oh, I'm very excited.
Oh,
I feel like-
I'm for that because
I
he's,
feel like the whole Spider-Man thing is basically because of that movie right there.
but also
Like,
he's,
where they're like
he's
saying,
he got Kevin Feige watching him. Like like Kevin Feige's looking at him like that's not right.
how crazy. Hang on, how crazy would it be if they bring in the Evil Dead into the MCU?
Oh no, I'm good.
Why?
Yeah, I'm
Not
good.
before, you know that, right?
Yeah, I'm
No.
good. I don't want that in my MCU.
I want that. I want that
Marvel
so badly.
Zombies. Get the fuck out of here.
I want a Marvel zombie movie so fucking badly. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want these what if movies.
You got that in Far From Home. You saw zombie Iron Man.
I want like real zombie, like what these people are eating.
Nah.
You know what? We'll talk about that one later.
But okay, so S, I got an S, I got a high A. Bugz.
Yeah. High A.
Okay, so I don't know if that averages it out because we got a double split. Ooh.
Bro, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton in this film though. As the
We'll see
Vulture.
how the rest of it goes.
The Vulture.
Because I am gonna put Thor Ragnarok before it on S. Yeah, I think I love Thor Ragnarok. Oh my god, I love
This was
movie.
another joke. This was a joke fest.
Yeah, this is a joke fest, but it's actually a good movie. Also, like it's
But you know what made me love it? Like, what made me realize that I love it so much. It was just the one time. I hope no officers are watching. But me and my friend, we watched this movie. We were smacked.
oh my god. That was
We
not
were
the direction
fucking
that I
high.
thought it was going in.
Yeah, we were fucking high, bro. And I'm just sitting there watching Ragnarok, and I'm piecing little things together. I'm like, yo, this connects to this. This connects to this. This connects to this. But then it'll be the most stupidest joke in the movie, and I'll just start dying out of nowhere.
Baby
and I'm
arms.
just like, baby arms.
Baby arms.
And then he's like, when he has the little shroud, he's like, they can see your face. Not if I go like this. But yes, Ragnarok. I freaking loved it.
I think this movie is I think Infinity War is a sequel to Ragnarok. Like this movie goes literally straight into Infinity War. I think it does a good job of that. It brought Thor from the ashes of I don't know what the fuck he was in. Clearly, the mindset that they had for Thor was not working. Like in the slightest.
What it was? It was because let's not send him to Earth this time.
I guess, right? It worked for Guardians, and they're like, just send him to space. I think it did a good thing for Thor. The movie is hilarious. The movie is action filled. Like the set pieces are amazing too. Like it has some of the best imagery in the fucking MCU. Yeah.
And it also fixed a very huge major plot twist or continuity problem, because in the first Thor movie, when you see them in I think it's the first one or the second one, you see the Infinity Gauntlet, and everyone was like, "Oh, I think that's what's going to be used in Endgame and everything like that." But it turned out it's actually just a fake replica.
Yeah.
But they say that in the movie when they
treasure room
pass
is
it
actually
by.
fake.
Yeah, when they pass by it, she says that it's a fake.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Just
I thought that was really hilarious right there.
Yeah. So I guess we all agree.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
Oh,
What happened?
I think Spider-Man's better. I'd put it in high A.
behind Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think Ragnarok's a high A.
Does that drop it down behind Spider-Man?
I mean, I give it. I think it could stay where it's at, because I feel like there is going to be a Spider-Man that's going to beat that one. Spoiler alert!
I don't know
gonna
about that. It's
Doesn't it at least move down one?
yeah, because you dropped it down. So ooh,
Oh, whoa.
the computer was like, the computer was like, nope. Okay, this is my controversial one.
This is Black Panther.
Yeah,
Ooh. Oh, I thought he was gonna put it in D.
yeah.
B, Obi?
That's me being generous because I still think Iron Man 2 is better than that, but I'll give you guys that one. I don't think this movie's that good. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Hang on. What?
Yeah, I don't think this movie's that good.
Really?
Yeah. The CGI is so
Care-
bad in this movie too. It's
Care to
really
elaborate?
bad. Killmonger was not a threat in this movie. Like he didn't feel like a threat. He was not in the present in the first hour of the movie. He just shows up at the end and busts Chadwick Boseman's ass and takes the mantle, and then it leads right into the final act. I felt like the first half of maybe 75% of this movie did not fucking matter. At all. It does nothing for the MCU, I feel, because he
Gives
played
you Wakanda.
but it played such a minimal part in Infinity War. All it was just an area with no people to fight in. That's all it gave
It is.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
no casualties. That's what it gave Infinity War.
And it kind of killed it when he blipped.
Yeah, and then like he blipped anyways, exactly. And it was just like, okay. Like, and then it gave you a cool shot in Endgame when he came back. I love Black Panther.
Yeah.
I thought he was the best part in the movie. I did not like Killmonger. I don't like Michael B. Jordan in general.
What?
Yeah. I don't like him.
Oh my god! I think you just got canceled just from saying that.
Michael B. Jordan is pretty trash though.
Yeah, I don't like him in general. I think he's not a good actor. I think he's all right.
I think he's good.
You don't like Scott's Human Torch?
No,
Or Creed?
no, I don't like that movie in general.
That
like
movie,
I said,
well, in all fairness, it's not his fault. It was the whole company's fault. on that
Chadwick
one.
Boseman and Michonne are the two best part of this movie.
I don't know. I
Shuri,
give Killmonger.
Shuri
Michonne?
sucked, bro. Like, I'm sorry. The "what are those" joke just killed the entire movie for me. Like, honestly, I was just like, you
They were
really
trying to-
wrote that into the script. Like, you dead ass wrote that. Who do you think's watching this? Well, I mean, I guess 14-year-olds are watching
Well,
this movie.
those Fortnite kids. That's.
But
who
like,
watching.
really, like, you really wrote that into this movie. I thought that was the lowest the comedy has ever gone in the MCU. To be honest, that line pissed me off for the whole movie. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But like, y'all all wearing sandals in this movie. Like, what? Like, what do you mean? What are those? You got the same sandals on, bro. Like, come on. Yeah. It's a good movie. I just don't think it's S like people think it is. What about you guys?
I would agree. But I would probably put it in the A category.
Okay, so that bumps it up about right.
I will say the final fight though does kind of kill it.
Yo, the final fight's so bad. The CGI on that train thing, so garbage.
Well, the CGI for those guys in general is just not
Yeah.
that great.
It was so bad. But
It kind of reminded me of X-Men Origins.
Yes. Yes. The CGI was so bad, man. Like, I don't know, dude. I didn't get, like, man, Killmonger's motives just didn't feel.
I mean,
Like villainous.
they felt justified, and especially what he was like feeling in his situation. I can understand it.
I didn't enjoy it like that.
He didn't feel much. He didn't feel like much of a villain.
Yeah.
I felt like I was siding with him more than anybody.
Well, I feel like I didn't care about his character. That's the thing. Yo, I liked M'Baku. If M'Baku was the villain,
M'Baku's
bro,
the man.
I love M'Baku. Like, if he becomes the next Black Panther, I'm hype. Like, I love M'Baku, bro. Like, he is amazing. Him in Endgame, I was just like, look at this man. He's fighting aliens,
monster.
bro. Like, he got a whole, like, what, wooden staff? Like, he out here fighting aliens? I love M'Baku. What about you guys, Starwin?
Yeah, I guess I could stay right there. I would rather watch Doc Strange than Black Panther. I'd leave it there.
Bugz?
Same.
Okay. Cool. Infinity War. Oh, right there. You can sit pretty right there. Yeah, I mean, it's self-explanatory. I feel. This one's great. Thanos the movie.
Here's the thing though. I feel like we're gonna be skipping two, but I feel like we should also do Endgame as well because I honestly feel like these two, even though they're separated,
yeah.
they're one whole
here,
movie.
here.
No. I don't think so.
No? All right, we'll get back to it
What?
then.
Okay, we'll hear that discussion.
Well, Infinity War, it's Thanos the movie, basically.
Pretty much.
This is the first comic book movie ever to have the villain win. And man, did it hurt when he won.
Yeah. Oh man.
I was so happy he won, but then I was like, fuck. Like, you
Jesus
did
Christ,
that,
man.
Disney? Wow. I did not expect Disney to go this route. I did not think that, like, this was even possible in the world of Disney. The movie's great. Like, it feeds off of all of the movies that led before it. It does a great job of doing that. Movie's just awesome. Awesome stuff, man. I might watch it right now. Anyone agree or disagree?
Yeah.
It's definitely double S for me, especially when
Big
Thanos
facts.
was beating his ass, beating everyone. His hands were rated E, and they were for everyone.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh, right here. I'm sorry. I don't care.
I'd put it a little bit higher. I'd probably put it before Iron Man, the first one.
You mean the second one? Isn't that the second one?
No, the first one is at B.
What?
Oh, so you want to push Iron Man down?
Yeah.
Man, what you got against Iron Man, man? You really got issues with Iron Man. I'm about to fight
I
you.
like Iron Man, but it's like I said, the first
This
one
is
was
the first Sonic, like all over again.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like we really about to square up. Like because of that though, this movie does go about right here. So anyone care to bring it up or down again?
Where is it right now?
Right before Hulk.
I'd rather watch that
Between Hulk and
before Guardians 2.
I would watch that before I would watch that before I've watched it definitely before Thor.
You just have a vendetta against Guardians.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a vendetta.
He's
Me?
talking about me.
Vendetta
No, he's
against
talking about
Guardians?
Starwind.
No, that's Starwind, not me.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Star Wars.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like referring to me. I was like, you heard my argument saying
Yeah,
how
he's
like
agreeing
the
with
second one was good.
it. Bugz? Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Definitely before Thor. Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna sit pretty right there. I don't know, man, it's alright. I guess. Captain Marvel. Do I want to give you a low C? Do I want to give you like maybe like right here? And then
I'd say
drop-
low C.
I want to say this. I want to do this. How do you guys feel about that?
I agree.
Yeah, no objections.
I'd put it before Ant-Man and Wasp.
Okay. Oop. Oop, right there. Actually, I'd rather
At least
watch it
at
than
least
Guardians
he prefers
2.
Guardians over Captain Marvel.
It's an average movie. It's okay. I don't think she's gonna do much. She's not gonna lift the needle for the MCU. I thought the movie was cool. I liked it, but I like all these
It's a good
movies.
origin story.
Yeah.
She doesn't impact the MCU like at all, though.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't at all. Maybe not
It came
yet.
at a really bad time.
WandaVision might, change that for her, but we'll see how that goes. Endgame. Beep.
SS, yes.
Double S tier.
I would actually put that higher than Infinity. Like I put them before Infinity.
I would have agreed with you 2 years ago. I think Infinity War is just a superior movie in general, storytelling wise and all that. There was when I first saw this movie, there was something that Starwind told me. He was like the first 90% of the movie is fan service.
Yep.
And
In Infinity or
in Endgame.
Endgame. It's like what's fan service for you in that one?
The entire beginning of the movie is just them celebrating the MCU. It's like, oh, you remember those movies you watched? Now you get to relive them again. It's them just having that experience, like going through it with. It's like a journey.
Not only that,
You're
when they were
traveling
doing the
with.
opening scene, though, half the people were missing.
Yeah.
That scene.
Yeah, that's the thing. That this weighed a whole lot more because you knew that they were gonna fix it, but the way it took really blew my mind. Like it shocked me that Thanos did like erase the stones and they killed him like right off. I was like, oh shit, this is happening. And then they actually go several years later. It's like, oh shit, this problem has not been resolved anytime soon. And you still have people who are like trying to deal with it, trying to resolve.
I
And
did
them
enjoy
just
that.
like trying to figure out how to do that. That's why I really liked it. And I thought that was like the big thing. And on top of that, this is where you actually get the good like send-offs or supposed send-offs for like characters like Iron Man and Cap.
I remember making the joke when they said the movie was going to be like 3 hours long, and then they killed Thanos like in the first 3 minutes of 5
Yeah, and it's like, movie's
I was like, oh, well, movie's over.
Everyone go home now.
Because of Zero, it's gonna go about here. Starwind, do you think it should be high S or is it sitting
I
pretty?
think it's
here?
an S tier movie.
Oh, never mind then. Bugz, what do you think?
It's fine where it's at right now.
Okay.
I feel like Infinity War impacted me more.
Yeah.
So much happens in Infinity War. It's like action from beginning to end. It's just action.
Endgame, the most emotional parts were like Black Widow dying, and then the ending of the movie, like the whole like
So
final
the last half
like,
hour of the
act.
movie.
Yeah, like the final act was very emotional. I cried very happy tears, and then I cried very sad tears. But Infinity War was an emotional roller coaster the whole way. Like it was a complete emotional roller coaster. I think that like the best part of Infinity War is that it was completely unpredictable the whole movie.
Mhm.
And the end of Endgame, you knew someone was gonna die. You knew someone was gonna save the day. They weren't gonna end the MCU like that, which they didn't actually in general. But Avengers: Infinity War just impacted me a lot more. Far From Home, I'm gonna give it high A. I think it's a
I would
high A
probably
movie.
put that before Homecoming.
Okay, so that's bringing it about right here.
Because this one is basically Peter actually taking charge and now realizing that he needs to step up, and he's also kind of feels like he's living in the shadow of Tony Stark. Like he doesn't know how he can actually take charge or be considered the next Tony Stark now that he's gone, and let alone that that's what the role Tony's leaving for him. He's basically leaving him like, hey, this is all on you now. I'm leaving Earth and everyone that I love
Even
in your
dead,
protection.
I am the hero.
Yeah, pretty much.
But is that a good
And
thing?
that's a good thing because it shows him like I kind of like this dynamic that him and Stark have than in the comics because they actually hate each other in the comics. I like the fact that Peter looks up to him and Tony like really admires him for what he is, and he sees him as like a younger version of himself. Like he wants to mentor him so he doesn't fall through like the same pitfalls he did when he was a kid, when he was growing up, dealing with his father and everything like that. And knowing that Peter doesn't really have that, and he feels the responsibility for Uncle Ben's death. So I like how that dynamic is with each other, and also this does open up a whole lot more. And this was kind of like considered to be like the jumping point for like phase 4. What phase are we on now in this?
4.
So this is like the jumping point for phase 4, where he was going to be like the main focus, but after the whole Sony and Marvel argument and like fighting over custody, I think they're kind of like switching focus from him now at this point. Because now they only have him for like 2 more movies, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think they were kind of hoping like Sony would actually really negotiate a deal and actually have more movies, and that's how come they kind of put him in like the front and center spotlight. But hey, we can all only hope.
I like Tom Holland Spidey. It's my favorite Spidey. MCU Spidey is
Mhm.
my favorite. I love this movie. I think this movie's great. I like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. The only thing
I thought he was great.
the only things that bother me about this movie are just the
Pacing.
a little bit of the pacing. I don't want him to be Iron Man Part 2. Like I want him
that's
to
the
use
thing. I
the
feel like
Iron
he's
Man
gonna be his
technology
clone.
to be Spider-Man, you know?
Well, he's going to be Spider-Man just with like the resources of like Tony, because you see him like making his own suit and everything like that. Like this is his actual, aside from like the homemade suit, this is the suit that he actually designed himself.
Because the thing
It's
with
not like
me
the Stark suit that was given to him, or
is,
like
like,
the Iron Spider one.
Homecoming gave you Spider-Man origin story. Like it made him separate himself from Iron Man. He was going to separate himself, do his own thing. He was going to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And this one felt like it retracted that a little bit. Like it just
Well,
put
no,
him
this
back
actually
in
kind
there.
of brought him out a little bit more, and that's what happens with Spidey, especially like in the newer comics. He did reach out to the point where he's like worldwide, and this is kind of like that. But he's still going to be at home. He's still going to be like the friendly neighborhood wall crawler. It's just he's going to have like a little bit more of like a responsibility if they call upon him for it. That's the thing. Like he thought it was going to be like him having to take on everything, but now he knows like, hey, this is my place. This is a little too much for me, but I am going to answer the call when you guys need me at this point.
Starwin?
I feel like what this movie does is it brings to light a lot of insecurities that Parker has, and not knowing what type of hero he's gonna be, because the global scale is still too much for him to handle. He can't even handle the slight villains that he's getting when on vacation. So
Yeah.
it does bring to light a lot of growth with his character. And like you said, like I don't think it retracted or like took steps back from what they were doing in Homecoming. It's more like he's just trying to find himself. Is I feel like
Yeah.
what's going on in this movie, and Tony Stark was his mentor. Like he looked up to him, and like he got a bunch of stuff from him, and he was advancing the way he was being a hero based on what Tony Stark was doing. But now that Stark isn't there to help him or to like kind of like give him that helping hand,
Yeah,
he
there's no
again
safety
has to
net.
figure out what to do on his own. And you can see it throughout the entire movie. Like things go wrong, and he's just like, "Fuck! If Stark was here, because like theoretically, that's what you would do if you would lose a father figure or like someone that you look up to. You try and act out the way that they were, but they're not there to tell you that that's wrong or to be yourself. Like there's no one guiding him, and Happy can't really do that. And now with Mysterio here feeding him lies, he feels like, oh, now I have someone here who's older to help me, someone from another universe. Oh my God, like there's still hope for me, because he feels like he's not that good of a hero because he's still so young.
Yeah.
So I feel like it does a great part in that, where it's just showing you Parker grow in a sense from how he grew in Homecoming.
Yeah.
So would you keep it there or would you move it up?
I'd put it in front of Ragnarok. I don't think Ragnarok is S.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Well, you never mentioned anything on Ragnarok. You didn't say anything, did you?
Who, me?
No,
I don't think I did. Yeah, I don't think I did.
Starwin mentioned some stuff about Ragnarok.
No, I actually, now that I think about it, yeah, because all I said was baby arms. That's what happened, and then we cut into the next movie. But yeah, I don't think Ragnarok is S. I think it's A.
Oh wow.
Okay, see, like if I would have known that, I would have moved here. Bug says basically agrees with Starwin that it belongs right there, right before Thor. S.
All right.
And then WandaVision.
WandaVision is SS, bro.
SS.
Right here. Right here, boys. Right here.
That shit is amazing.
WandaVision is right
Every week
there. Bro.
This is opening the doors for everything. This is
everything.
phase 4 in full effect.
Phase 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's just getting everything ready. Like they were like, oh, you thought everything was gonna be done at Endgame? You said we can't appeal you anymore after this? Here's WandaVision. Yo, dude, WandaVision's amazing. For those of you who didn't know, we're counting that as WandaVision because I didn't have a picture of WandaVision. We're only 6 episodes in. For all we know, the next 3 episodes could be dog shit.
The next 3 episodes are supposed to be an hour long.
Yes. 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 I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited.
My body's ready.
Oh man. So this is our MCU tier list it basically averages everything out. We all 4 obviously have different takes on the movies and have a different tier list in our minds, but collectively this is what we have. I think that's the most fun part of the tier list is that the person who chooses the tier list has a clear-cut idea of what they think it should look like, and then everyone else just like fucks it up. I think it's hilarious. I love it. I love controversy. I like arguments. I'm that kind of person. Yeah, I like pissing you guys off. So, thank you.
You're doing a great job at it.
Thank
Bring
you.
Guardians down though.
Thank you for. Oh wait, you mean?
Get the fuck out of here. No, you leave that there. I don't care. Guardians got to come down. You can put Iron Man all the way up. Bring Guardians down.
Wow. Damn, he's selling his soul to bring Guardians down.
I'll make a deal with fucking Mephisto. Bring that shit down.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. Oh, this is our average out tier list. This is the Metaverse of Gaming, and we are signing out. Peace, peace.
Peace.
Deuces.